वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 अशोचानन्वशोचस्त्वम् प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः न त्वेवाहं जातु नासम् त्वं मे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम् देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यते मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभम् समदुःखसुखं धीरम् सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते. So, we are doing Gatasun, Agatasuncha, Na Anushojanti Panditaha is a statement. The wise do not grieve the living or those who are dead. The living or the dead. Panditaha na shochanti gatasun agatasun cha. Gatasun means gata pranan. Agatasun means agata pranan. Panditaha na shochanti. Very beautiful said. The wise do not grieve the living or the dead. Meaning, neither they grieve over the death of those who are dead, nor do they grieve over the prospect of death of the living. Neither they grieve the death of the dead, nor do they grieve the prospect of the death of the living. Why is it that the wise do not grieve? The answer is because they know they don't really die. See? In fact, if a person is, just to see the logic, the more we become logical, the more we expose our own thinking. The more the wrongs in our thinking become exposed. My wrongs in my thinking, nobody is going to expose. My wrongs in the wrongs in my thinking, I have to I have to expose. Please understand. The flaws in my thinking must be exposed by myself. If somebody exposes, if somebody points out a flaw in my thinking, I'm not going to receive it, accept it. I become angry. I react. If somebody says you are wrong, I react. Therefore, by nature really, somehow or other, we are never ready for correction in our thinking through others. I don't allow others to correct me. I never allow others to correct me. I don't allow others even to advise me. I don't allow even my own parents to correct me. Because I feel I'm all right. I feel I'm all right. Therefore, if I ever have to grow, in fact, I should do that job. I should discover the flaws in my thinking. And how do I discover flaws in my thinking? It is only by being logical, as pointed out by the Shruti. For example, I will say, grief in either way is illegitimate. If the person is eternal, my grief has no meaning. If the person is non-eternal, grief has no meaning. If that is the nature, like, if something ages, what is subject to age, ages. I can't grieve it, because it is only falling in line with its nature. It's following its nature. If the body ages, I can't grieve, because the body is not doing anything contrary to its nature. So if what is subject to die, if it dies, my grief is illegitimate. If what is eternal, if it never dies, and if I grieve it, then also my grief is illegitimate. Understand? That means grief enjoys a nature of being illegitimate. Understand? In the light of the truth. Truth which is peace. Truth which is peace. In contrast to that truth which is peace, grief is illegitimate. Grief is false. Grief is unjustified. Grief by nature. Grief is unconditionally illegitimate, not conditionally illegitimate. I hope you are able to follow. Grief is unconditionally illegitimate. Why? Because truth is by nature free from grief. Truth is Shanti. Truth is eternal. Truth is fulfillment. Truth is that in which grief is impossible. And yet in that truth, if I see grief, then it is a distortion in my thinking. Therefore, grief enjoys the nature of being illegitimate. Illegitimate means, what I mean is, there is no need for it. If I thought correctly, there was no need for it. I did not think correctly, therefore I felt it. That's called illegitimate. That's why it's called illegitimate. Like, you feel elated in the dream. Suppose somebody gives you a lot of money. In dream, somebody gives you a lot of money. And you feel great, you feel elated. That elation is what? Illegitimate. It is not legitimate. It is illegitimate. It's just a bhranti, an illusion. Because the whole thing is false. My pleasure about money is false because money is false. My grief about death is false because death is false. That is also false. Therefore, we can categorically define grief. We can categorically define grief. We can categorically define grief as illegitimate. Is illogical. Is illogical. Is false. And that is what Bhagavan begins in this verse. Gatasu nagatasu mushcha nanushochante mandala. Now we see, the wise do not grieve over the wise do not grieve the death of the dead, the death of the dead. The wise also do not grieve the prospect of death of the living. Okay? Then who grieve? The wise do not grieve. Then who grieve? The unwise, means the ignorant. And the grief felt in ignorance, is it legitimate or illegitimate? It is illegitimate. Illegitimate in the sense, it's an error. It's not factual. The eternal I can't grieve. The non-eternal I can't grieve. This is something peculiar one has to think. If the body ages, I can't grieve it. If I grieve, it is not justified. Supposing from young age, if I become old, I can't grieve it. If I grieve it, it is illegitimate. It's not justified. And I can't grieve the departure of myself from the body, because even after departure from the body, even after leaving the body, if I don't die and if I am there, then my grieving about my death is not justified. Not justified. If the self is eternal, my grief has no meaning. If the self is non-eternal, then also I can't grieve. If it is its nature to die, then what can I do? If it is its nature, if it is my nature to die, then what can I do? And therefore, but here anyway, the wise do not grieve the death because they know they don't die. There is no death. Body as a form can die. The one who is in the body doesn't die. And we analyzed a little bit in the last class. I'll just touch a little and go ahead to the next verse. Please don't feel that I am just lingering on with the first verse. Because the topic is too profound. Topic is too profound. If there is somebody to think, topic is too profound. If I am not ready to think, it's nothing. Like Bhagavan is great for a bhakta. Bhagavan is nothing for a non-bhakta. Duty is wonderful for the one who is ready to do it. Duty is nothing for the one who is not ready to do it. You see? Similarly, Vedanta is too profound. If I am ready to look into it. Supposing I am not ready to look into it, then it's nothing. One will think it's nothing. Therefore, it's too profound for us just to move away. I just say, as I told you in the last class, what is to be understood, what is truth, what is not truth, what is born, what is ever there, what is temporary, what is permanent. These are all things judged. These are all things judged in the light of experience that I am bringing in that word. What is within our experience, we can judge whether it is permanent or temporary. If we are not experiencing, if we don't take the help of the experiences, then we can't talk about it. Like law of gravitation. Everything that is thrown up, it comes back to the earth because that is how we see it. It is a perception, it is a sense perception. I call it as, well, sensory experience. Our sensory experience tells us that everything is gravitated towards the earth. On that basis we say the earth has gravity. So that the earth has gravitation is testified to by our experience. That's what I want to say. And that that there is gravitation, that the earth enjoys gravitation is testified to by our experience. And experience is in the hands of the experiencer. There is an experiencer who has the experience. And based on that experience, we are able to judge what is what. We are able to judge what is what. In the same manner, when it comes to Bhagavad Gita, we can only judge what is temporary and what is permanent based on our experiences. And all experiences have one common experiencer. Like pleasure is an experience, pain is an experience, love is an experience, attachment is an experience, and depression is an experience, elation is an experience. These are all, let us call them all different experiences. But all of them are felt by the same conscious being, the same. That is why there is always a recognition that the I who was unhappy is happy now. The I who loved then is not loving now. The I who was dreaming then is awake now. The I who was asleep then is awake now. The I who was comfortable then is uncomfortable now. That means I am able to see that the experiencer is common. This is a very fantastic clue. That means experiences may go on changing, but the one who experiences doesn't change. Variety of feelings, variety of emotions, variety of thoughts, variety of pleasures, variety of pains. This so-called variety, in fact we are able to see the variety because the one who experiences is unitary, is the same. Is the same. I have to take into account that unchanging myself. I have to take into account that unchanging myself, that continuous myself, that unrelentingly unchanging myself, resisting all kinds of things. That continuing myself, I have to take into account to judge what is truth and what is false. It is not easy to judge what is truth in life, to judge what is false in life, to judge whether we really survive death or not, to know whether we really survive the form or we disappear. To understand all the truth about ourselves, we have to first take into account ourselves. And what is that self? The unchanging experiencer of all experiences. As I told you, every emotion is an experience, really. Love is an experience, hate is an experience, jealousy is an experience, pleasure is an experience, pain is an experience, travel is an experience, all experiences. Noise is an experience, disturbance is an experience, fear is an experience. But all of them keep on replacing one another. The various experiences replace one another ruthlessly. They replace one another ruthlessly. Each one dismisses the other ruthlessly. And the one who experiences is not replaced. There is an irreplaceable being. One wave can be replaced by another wave, but wave can't replace water. It's a fantastic example. Vedanta gives, hey, you are like water, you are irreplaceable. Hey, see, a commonly known example. Human beings are very funny. I'm telling you how. I'll give you an instance. When you give some uncommon example, they say, why don't you give us some example which is common? Why don't you give us a simple example which is common and commonplace known to us? And then I give the example, wave and water. Oh, it's too common. You take it for granted. This is the problem. This is the problem. Something profound, you have a complaint. Something simple and commonplace, you take it for granted. It's too simple. Then what does the Vedanta do? Hey, wave and water. You say, Vedanta says, your existence is like water and wave can't replace water. Wave takes place in water and resolves in water. But then nothing created in water can replace water. Fantastic thought. Nothing created in water can replace water. Similarly, nothing created in oneself, nothing created in one's attention can replace oneself. Nothing created in ourselves. No emotion can replace the experience. No feeling can replace the feeler. No thought can replace the thinker. No perception can replace the perceiver. No emotion can replace the one who has it, the subject. In fact, no object can replace the subject. In fact, we do experience our existence as irreplaceable. We do experience our existence as irreplaceable. If it is irreplaceable, I tell you that is one of the definitions of the truth. I'll give you a number of them in the course of the study. One of the definitions, one of the unfoldments about the truth is that which cannot be replaced. Because the material cannot be replaced by the made. An ornament can't replace the gold. A cloth can't replace cotton. These are all examples because I am saying the same. And that is why whenever you hear any Swami, these examples come. But really, these examples are commonplace, but the topic is profound. What is conveyed is profound with the help of commonplace examples. Trying to help man to think. Therefore, that which is irreplaceable is the truth. So if it is irreplaceable, is it permanent or temporary? Tell me. If it is irreplaceable. It is not replaceable now. Not only our being, the experience is not replaced. No waking thought can replace the waker. No dream thought can replace the dreamer. And also, no absence of thought can replace the experience. Like the wave's presence cannot replace water, the wave's depth, the wave's absence also can't replace water. Meaning, with the rise of wave, the water doesn't disappear. With the fall of wave also, the water doesn't disappear. It accommodates the presence of the wave. It accommodates the fall of the wave. That all accommodating water is the truth in relation to the wave. In the same manner, the subject, the observer, is not replaced by anything, and therefore that it cannot be replaced by either a waking thought or a dream thought, or even the negation of the waking thought or the negation of the dream thought, makes it absolutely unnegatable. Irreplaceable is unnegatable. The irreplaceable is unnegatable. This is the synopsis of this verse. So when Bhagavan says, the wise do not grieve the death of the dead and the prospect of death of the living, when he says it, he is seeing that everybody does experience eternity. Everybody is experiencing eternity. Everybody is being eternal without understanding. Everybody is being truth without recognizing it. Everybody is being truth without recognizing it. I'll give you an example. We'll go to the next verse, Aram se. Just relax and hear. It's all Vedanta. To study Vedanta, the first condition is, somebody said long ago. Some 35 years ago when I was in Rishikesh, one Swami said, I was living in an ashram. And then I told him, you see, I am going to study. I am leaving this place and going to Swamiji, Swami Dayananda, I am going to study there. Do you have some advice to give me? Because he's an elderly Swami. Do you have something to tell me? Because I was hardly 19, 20 years old. And he was 75 plus. Oh, you are going to study. You know what he said? He was a very nice Swami, very, very good. You know what he said? No, you don't require to be told anything. But I would like to say one thing. Don't lose, you need to have infinite patience to get into the thick of Vedanta. You need to have infinite patience. Why? Because one tends to lose patience right in the opening lines of Vedanta. Why? Because Vedanta seems to be talking something, very abstract. It's talking about eternity, it's talking about freedom, it's talking about peace, it's talking about comfort, it's talking about big, big things, whereas I am interested only in daily bread, I am interested in only a house, a flat, whatever. He thinks it's all unrelated. Vedanta seems to be unrelated to me. Hey, in fact, is happiness unrelated to you? Is freedom unrelated to you? In fact, nothing material is related, because what we want to get even through the objects is only happiness. Only happiness is related. Therefore, if that is the topic of Vedanta, I must have patience to look into it. Therefore, have patience and hear. There is an example. That example is, this example, I can bring it much later, but it is better that I bring it right now. This 10th man example. Those who have, and those who have heard also, better hear, because a lot of things which you take it for granted, as we feel we have understood, and really, if you think of it again, you feel you have missed something. If it has not hit you, that means you haven't understood. The day you feel hit, that means you have understood. The day you feel hit, my God, is it like that? That is why Krishna says, a person who hears correctly hears with a sense of wonder. If a person doesn't hear with a sense of wonder, he is not hearing. He is not hearing because it is not really hitting him. Says a 10th man, supposing there were 10 students in a school and they went out just for an excursion. Happened to be a Sunday and the 10 students went out for an excursion. And on the way they went to a forest, wandered around, and then really on the way there was a river, and they crossed the river, and the river had a lot of water in it. And these children, these boys, many of them didn't know how to swim also. Somehow they managed to cross the river. After crossing the river, the story tells, every one of them had a doubt. Have all 10 of us crossed the river? Is everybody safe? Now, one of them said, well, let me count. He puts them all in a line and he starts counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Concludes, we are only 9. Just see. It has a lot to convey. He concludes, we are only 9. Another person comes, hey, you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Concludes, we are only 9. The 10th man is, the 10th person is missing. All the 10 of them counted, and all of them counted wrongly. All of them counted, but each one of them forgot to count himself. Each one of them forgot to count himself. And every one of them is in search of the 10th man. This is called universal search. Every human, every living being is in search of fullness, is in search of peace, is in search of truth, is in search of freedom. Every person is in search. This is called universal search. Just as all the 10 are searching for the 10th man, all human beings, all living beings are in search of the truth. Now the one who is searching for the 10th man really happens to be the 10th man. That's what I say. He is being the 10th man without knowing that he is the 10th man. He is being the 10th man without recognizing that he is the 10th man. And then comes a passerby. Here I am going to tell you something, some truth about this theology. Some passerby comes and he sees these children crying. Everybody is crying and searching. Everybody is crying and searching. He sees them all crying and searching. And he just asked them, what is the problem? And they said, we started 10, we crossed the river, and after that we are only 9. And he silently counts them and he discovers that there are 10 and he understands the problem. And the one who understands the problem is called Apta Purushaha. Apta Purushaha means the one who sees there is no problem. The one who feels he has the problem is the searcher, the 10th man. And a passerby who sees that there is no problem. In fact, they are suffering not the problem. They are suffering a notional problem. They are suffering a notional problem, an ignorance-born notion. They are suffering a wrong conclusion. They are suffering a wrong judgment. They are suffering a wrong conclusion, a wrong judgment. And he understands and he tells them, children, don't cry. This is what Vedanta says, don't cry. Don't be worried. Don't be unhappy. Cheer up yourself. Sit down, sit up and listen. That is what Vedanta is. That passerby also says, children, don't cry. I am going to produce the 10th man here and now. When that passerby says, he is called Apta Purushaha, when he says, I am going to produce the 10th man here and now, please tell me, should the children be receptive to it or not? When the passerby says, I am going to produce the 10th man here and now, what should be the attitude of those children? Should they be receptive or rejective? They should be receptive. Why? He doesn't say that I am going to produce the 10th man in heaven. He doesn't say you will meet the 10th man in heaven. He says I am going to produce the 10th man here and now. I can make you see the 10th man here and now. When that person passerby says, the children are not justified to reject what he says. But they have all the reason, they have all the justification to be receptive. This is called Shraddha. This is the definition of Shraddha. What is it called? Shraddha. Shraddha means to be receptive to a person, a scripture which says, I can make you see the answer. Your answer lies right here and now. If I make a promise, you have a reason to reject. Promise for the future. Here the passerby doesn't make a promise for the future. He says, right here and now I can make you see the 10th man. And when the children become receptive, that receptivity is what is called Shraddha. Shraddha means to be receptive to a sane statement. To be receptive to a sane statement is called Shraddha. If it is an insane statement, you will see the 10th man you will meet the 10th man in heaven. I don't have to say. Or you do this, you will see him in heaven. Or you do this, you will meet him after death. Or you do this, you will find him in the next country. You will see him later. You will see him later. That statement, that later can be rejected. I have a reason to reject. I need not believe. If he says the 10th man is right here for all of you to see, listen. And if they listen, that is not Shraddha. Shruti also, Bhagavan Krishna also saying, Arjuna, listen. And the 10th man, meaning the truth which you are missing, the freedom, the free that you are missing, the peaceful that you are missing, and because of which you are grieving, that free being, that peaceful being, that lasting being, you can see right here and now, because it is available for understanding. If it is available for understanding, then it should be inseparable from mine. It should be there with me. If it is there with me, that means available for understanding. Therefore, if I listen to the Shastra, because it says, you can understand it right here, then that receptivity is gone. That receptivity is gone. Shraddha. And Arjuna has Shraddha. And with that Shraddha he listens. And see the next verse. Natvevaham. With that Shraddha one has to listen. Shraddha means not blind belief, please. In fact, there is nothing blind about it. There is nothing belief about it. That is exactly what any thinking person does. A thinking person always listens to a same statement of mine. A same statement. A same statement. Therefore, Shraddha is not some kind of blind belief. Please see the next verse, verse number 12. Natu eva aham. Krishna says, why does man fear? Why does man fear? He fears death. Fear of tiger is fear of death. Understand? Fear of poverty is fear of death. Fear of flying is fear of death. In fact, we don't fear anything. We only fear death. We don't fear anything. The fear of things is nothing but the fear of death. The fear of things is nothing but the fear of death. The fear of fire is fear of death. The phobia of various kinds is nothing but it is a phobia of death. It's a fear of death. In fact, it is universal. Everybody has the fear of death, but if you play it up, it becomes phobia. It becomes phobia. That is when you get up in the middle of the night and say, my God, what is happening? Or in the middle of the night you get up and say, I'm going to die. Then you drink water. This is all, it becomes really, you play it up. When you play up that fear, it is called, it's a phobia. Everybody who flies in the plane has a fear. Everybody sitting in the plane, you must see the silence that comes. Is a sign of fear. Everybody. Therefore, when a person is flying, everybody has some fear of an accident and therefore fear of death. If a particular person thinks too much about it, it becomes a phobia. What Krishna says is, we don't fear anything, we fear only death. It is not possible not to fear death. Braving death is not freedom from fear. Braving itself is an indication of fear. In fact, we only brave what we fear. You don't brave comfort. You don't brave peace. You don't brave security. Are you able to follow? You don't brave security. You enjoy it. You embrace it. You don't brave it, you embrace it. You fear cold and then you pick up. You gather courage and brave it. You brave cold, you brave heat. Similarly, you brave even death. Like a soldier, he braves death. Braving death doesn't mean freedom from fear of it. There is a fear. He tries to fight that fear and tries to brave. And then he may even embrace death. That doesn't prove that he did not have fear of it. Fear of death is universal. Fear of death, universal, and it is something unconquerable. Fear of death cannot be conquered. Fear of death cannot be conquered as forms. Emotionally, I cannot fight the fear of death through an emotion. I cannot fight the fear of death through material security. I cannot fight the fear of death through some mystical emotions or some mantra, some tantra, some magic. There is no magic that can be used against the fear of death. Even Ravana, is something amazing. Ravana was such a big man, such a big, what we call, mighty individual. A mighty individual, the Mother Earth used to feel terrorized. The Mother Earth used to feel terrorized by this Ravana, this joker. He was so terrified. And when the time came, when he discovered Rama is mightier than him, started shivering in the sky. He felt the fear of death. Ravana had fear of death. Kansa had fear. In fact, everybody, when you are faced with the fear, you feel fear. Why there should be fear of death? Why should there be fear of death when I can really get out of any desire, when I can drop a desire, I can drop a feeling, drop an attachment, drop money, I can drop anything. I can just say goodbye. I can bid goodbye to any kind of thought. Why I can't get rid of fear? Why I can't discontinue fear? That's because I told you I'm going to continue with the topic. There is fear of death because I don't like death. I don't like death because eternity happens to be our nature. There is no other explanation. If you find any explanation, please come and tell me. It would be very interesting. The only explanation for the dislike for death is it is contrary to our nature. The fear, the dislike for death. Man dislikes death. He doesn't like death. He wants to exist. He loves existence. He loves being. He loves being. He dislikes vacuum. He dislikes void. He dislikes negation. He hates negation. He loves to be. He loves to be. To be. Because that happens to be his nature. Being is his nature. Eternity is his nature. Whereas negation is not his nature. And therefore, he thinks really that he is negatable. There is an error of judgment about him. And when he concludes that he is negatable, he doesn't like it. Therefore, here Krishna says, hey, everybody fears death. How does he think? He says, Natve Vaham. One thinks, before I was born, I was not. This is how we think. Before I was born, I was not. This thought doesn't disturb a person. Just to see. Here is a clue to our error in thinking. I was not there before I was born. That I was not before I was born doesn't disturb me. But I will not be after I die. Disturbs me. Why? What is the difference between pre-birth absence and post-death absence? What is the difference between pre-birth absence and post-death absence? Before I was born, I was not. That thought doesn't disturb me. That I was not before I was born doesn't disturb me. But I will not be there after I die disturbs me. Why should my absence before birth not disturb me? Why should the thought, why should my absence after the death disturb me? One thinks I was not there before and I will not be there later on. Now I am there and I don't want to be. I don't want to come to an end. It doesn't matter I was not there. If I was not there before, koi baat nahi. If I was not there before, it is all right. But I want to be there forever. one cries. One is, the whole life is lived with the fear. And where is Anandam in life? Tell me. Living with the fear of death, how much do you enjoy life? I mean, to be very objective. Let us be objective for a change. How much can one really enjoy living with the fear of death? How much can one enjoy? Really. If one enjoys life, do you know why he enjoys life? Big secret is going to be given out. Everybody thinks I will be there around for some more time. I will die, but not soon. I will be there a few years. I will be there for a few years at least. But the more he thinks of the uncertainty of death, the more he gets fear. Fear is there. Here Krishna says, hey Arjuna, understand. Natve vaham. Me as this individual, I took this form as Krishna on a given day. On a given day I was born in the form of Krishna. But even before I took that form, it was not that I was not. Natve vaham. It is not that I was not. Natve vaham jatu nasam. Up to that, the meaning is, it is not that I was not. Natvam. It is not that you were not there before you were born. It is not that you were not. First let us get the word meaning. It is not that you were not before you were born. Natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janati paha. And it is not that these kings were not there before they were born. It is not that I was not there before I was born. It is not that you were not there before you were born. It is not that these kings, these other individuals were not there before they were born. Now, two negatives make one positive. Now, make one positive. It is not that I was not. Means what? Indeed, I was. It is not that you were not. Indeed, you were. It is not that they were not. Indeed, they were. I was there before I was born. You were there before you were born. And everybody else also was there before they were born. And their existence is experienced, not recognized. Everybody experiences his presence even before he was born. It is not recognized. Now, at this juncture, I am going to look into the topic. You see, this is not an ordinary statement. It is not that you were born before you were born. It is not that you were not before you were born. It is not that I was not there before I was born. Now, what do I do with this statement? Bhagavan Krishna says, it's not that I was not before, it is not that you were not there before. That means before you were born, you were there. Before I was born, I was there. Before everybody was born, everybody was there. How do I take this statement? How do I perceive it? Should I take it as a matter of belief? Krishna says, therefore, should I take it as a matter of belief? Or should I take it as a matter of, as a fact? If it is a fact, it should be evident. If it is a belief, it need not be evident. Should I take it as a matter of belief, or should I take it as a fact? And in Vedanta Shastra, nothing should be taken as a matter of belief. The moment you take it as a matter of belief, you have already messed up the Vedanta. Therefore, until the statement is understood as a fact, I should dwell on the statement. I should keep looking at the statement again and again. At this juncture, we have to answer a few questions. Just another few minutes, don't be in a hurry. Just a few more minutes. Just please say, you have to answer a few very important, essential questions in life. As I told you, the proof of everything, I'm going to build up this topic. Just a couple of minutes. The proof. What is the proof that there is the sun? Tell me, just in a simple question. What is the proof that there is the sun? What is the proof? What is the proof? The proof is I see it. We all see it. We are aware of it. There is no proof more final than one's own knowledge. It's my knowledge. How do you know the sun is bright? It is my knowledge. How do you know the fire is hot? It is my knowledge. How do you know that there are 5 elements? It's my knowledge. How do you know that the earth has gravitation? It's my knowledge. It's my knowledge. How do you know that there is a universe? It's my knowledge. How do you know that you are a human being? It's my knowledge. This is where we have to begin. The proof of anything, the final proof of anything is knowledge. Knowledge is the proof. The knowledge is the proof. In other words, the observer is the proof. The one who knows is the proof. You have pleasure in your mind, let us say, some good feeling you have. You are enjoying some good feeling, and it is showing on your face. And I ask a question of, how is it that you are so happy? What is it that makes you so happy? Till yesterday you were so depressed. Says, there's something nice. How do you know? How do you know? It is my knowledge. And you say you are depressed. What is the proof that you are depressed? What is the proof you are depressed? It's my knowledge. Knowledge is the final proof. It is not the primary proof. It is not the secondary proof. That is the final proof. In fact, knowledge is the sole proof. Knowledge is the sole proof. If this is clear, then if this is, persistent, if we continue with this thought, for anything, the proof is knowledge. Before you were born, you were not. What is the proof? Before you were born, you say, I was not. Even for absence, the knowledge is the proof. Like, there is no 6th element. If there is 6th element, there are 5 elements. What is the proof? Knowledge. There is no 6th element. Knowledge is proof. Knowledge is the proof. I am a head is proved by it is my knowledge that I have a head. My knowledge is the proof, and I don't have the horns. I don't have the horns. What is the proof? Knowledge that I don't have the horns. My knowledge is the proof. Just as I have knowledge that I have a head, I have knowledge that I don't have the horns. I have knowledge that I have the head. I have the knowledge. Don't say I don't have the knowledge that I have horns. But I have the knowledge that I don't have the horns. Therefore, the absence of horns is a matter of my knowledge. Presence of head is also a matter of my knowledge. Before you were born, you say, I was not. What is the proof? This is a very serious matter. I would say it's a very sacred question to be answered. The answer to this sacred question would liberate an individual. The right answer to this question would liberate an individual. Why? Because what is the proof that before I was born I was not? You are just taken for granted. What is the proof that one was not there before one was born? What is the proof? I was not there. Is it a belief? Like belief in heaven. Before I was born, before 100 years ago, I was not there. Is it a belief? Hearsay. What is it? Is it a belief or a hearsay? That you were not there 100 years ago, you are just really, is it a hearsay? Somebody said and you believed it? Is it a belief? You have to take it very seriously. Is it a belief? Like belief means, belief like belief in heaven. I say, I was not there. You assert. You are assertive. You don't assert beliefs, understand? You don't assert beliefs. But here I say, I was not there 100 years ago. Is my own experience. It is my knowledge that I was not there. It is my experience that I was not there. It is my experience that I was not there. Is it not a contradiction? It is my experience that I was not there. How can you have an experience of your being not there? I have no tongue. Saying I have no tongue, is it not a contradiction? I have no tongue, is it not a contradiction? It is my experience that I was not there. Is it not a contradiction? Understand, fear of death is born of a contradictory view about oneself. We will continue this topic the next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Nudishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Classes will continue tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Then afterwards we will come back. We will have today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And then afterwards we will come back on 30th of June. But your class will be, your first class will be 1st of July. 1st of July. 1st of July will be your first.
This case of 10 minutes.